That's energy of jealousy. Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to your Gemini Bae, because I just love saying it like that. Crosswatchers only reading. I am Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. I told you I was just going to keep getting real extra with that. In the event that you don't know what the Crosswatchers only reading is, it is a reading that I do. It is love focused, but I do these with the intention of giving someone who is attempting to cross watch for a Gemini person that they may be in a relationship, situationship, entanglement, what have you, with, whoa, okay. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse came out first, but I got to finish my spiel. But I've found through the grapevine being my wonderful comments here on YouTube, that people watch them. And I mean, if you've seen the Taurus, Bae reading, sometimes, spirit come through with a 1-2 punch, but that's neither here nor there. That's a collective reading. Go ahead and watch it, but that's neither here nor there. But sometimes it resonates for family members, coworkers, friends, sometimes people of the sign that I'm trying to lurk on, might resonate. So get in where you fit in. Sometimes it's flippy floppy, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, so the first card that we had that came out is the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So whatever the case, Crosswatcher, with you and your Gemini Bae, your Gemini person, you guys are in a place at present, I'll say both of you until, I see different, or you may be in this place of reevaluating. It's having had, how do I want to say this? Having had invested so much into this person or this partnership, and at this present moment being in a place where you're asking if it was really worth it, has it been really worth the trouble? Has it really been worth, the struggle? Has it really been worth the investment? Are you really getting a return? Do you want to keep, sowing into this proverbial ground of this relationship? Is it salvageable? These are all things that come to mind. So the first card we have is the Eight of Wands in the reverse. It's a little blocked energy, a lack thereof of communication. Then we have the Hermit, which is a Virgo energy. So you guys may be a Virgo, or you're just pretty much isolated. And then we have the High Priestess, which is Pisces energy, Neptunian energy, because that makes me sound smart, and also divine feminine energy. So we're talking about, psychic gifts and intuition and the inner realm and things of the sort. So what it's looking like coming into the middle of October, my Crosswatcher, you guys are in very much, like I said, in a state of reevaluation. And I mean, it's good. I can say that for sure, because we are in Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Mars is retrograde too. We're coming up on this good old portal on the 31st, and we're wrapping up the year. We're in the last quarter of the year. So it's really getting prepared for how it is that you want to approach 2021, right? And looking back at the year, so you guys are more or less trying to get to a place of clarity, I would say. Now, with the Eight of Wands and the reverse being here, I feel that as like, I don't want to necessarily say stuckness. I would say it's more or less being in this High Priestess energy. Because if we're looking at like masculine and feminine energies in an action-oriented way, we're speaking of inaction, which would be that divine feminine energy, right? So it's more or less going back to this Hermit, which is a state of reflection. So it's more or less not knowing how to move forward. Now, granted, this could manifest in 3D as you having blocked communication with your Gemini person, or it could be them blocking you literally, or it could just be that you guys have hit like a stagnant point and you guys just aren't moving forward. So it's kind of a to each its own kind of thing, depending on your situation, but there's no forward movement. The why behind that is you guys trying to get clear, right? But one little piece of advice I can give you before we continue to turn over the rest of these cards is, on some level or another, you taking this time out to go within and to get clear with yourself. And if you're doing your personal work with facing your fears, facing your shadow, whatever terminology you want to use for that, it's just getting back to your inner truth. That would behoove you to listen to what it is that you find or what you feel has been kind of tugging on you. Trust the Niggle, which is my favorite card in the Work Your Light Oracle deck, comes to mind. So the thing that's important is almost getting back to you. You know, I don't know how long you guys have been together, but or you've been dating this person, but I feel the most imperative thing I'm seeing here from my cross watchers is to follow your own inner wisdom, because that would say to me that on some level or another, you know, in a very like gut instinct way, you know, but you just need to get back to that part of you that knows. So being in a state of inaction at present is okay, right? So it's not stepping into that masculine energy of moving forward just yet. Now, the next card that we have, I know you're lying to me, is the World card, Saturn energy. This is the card that triggered that whole message in the Taurus reading. I really hope that you guys go watch that, because it's very much a collective message. And of course, we have Scorpio energy, all the fixed signs, Aquarius energy, Taurus energy, Leo energy. And that wow, this is wild, Magnolia. So this blue moon, full moon on the 31st is going to be very, very important to you all. So again, I have to reinforce, don't trip if you don't have the answers right now, because you are supposed to be in a state of reevaluation. But of course, the World card, we're talking about epic cycles ending. We're speaking about the mirror effect. We're talking about the entire calendar year of 2020 and it being a year of foundation setting in so many words. And with this falling under you guys, 8 of Wands in the reverse, it's still, again, reinforcing that it's imperative that you get clear, Crosswatcher. When you're making your considerations, like all of those things I said in the very beginning, if you have to rewind to write those questions down, if you will, with the 7 of Pentacles in the reverse, this is really truly a time of reevaluation. And it's really the thing of understanding, even with this World card being here, and Saturn being a planet that's like, you know, the father of karma and things of the sort. When we speak about karma, we're simply speaking of the universal law of reciprocity, right? And keeping in mind that we live in a realm of reciprocity. So when you know, give to something, you are supposed to receive something in return. You know what I mean? Connections, relationships are supposed to be mutually beneficial. And I feel what's really being evaluated here in reference to this Gemini person is, has this connection between the two of you been mutually beneficial? You know, have you invested a lot? Have they reciprocated, you know? Or is it just one person that's benefiting and the other not? And if it's incongruent, that's something you really want to think on, friend. The next card that we have, wow. Whew, child, is the Ace of Swords. Wow. And then we have the 8 of Swords in the reverse. These 8s, dude. So this is heavy, and that's too, oh man. Come through, Spirit. I spoke about this in the Taurus reading as well, the Taurus Bae reading, about these 8s. And that relates a lot to Scorpio, 8th sign, 8th house, you know, and this whole mirror effect of when you're looking, and I'm saying this in reference to this connection, dog, this is just wild, Magnolia. I'm just going with it. When it comes to this connection, when we're looking at this Ace of Swords being here and this falling into your past position, I feel that there's some sort of truth that came out or some clarity that was had, not just by you, but I feel for your Gemini person as well, right? And I could even say, if we were to say the 1st of October, and looking at this world card here, Saturn went direct on the 29th of September. So somewhere between the latter part of September and the early part of October, I feel whatever transpired with you guys, whether it was like a big, you know, like blow up type of deal, you know what I'm saying? Or if you guys just kind of took a break, or if you just started feeling different, or they started acting different, it's more or less something that wasn't clear between the two of you before became very clear. But and I say that if this person like cut you off or blocked you or whatever, this is almost like divine intervention, because it's like, it's almost as if this, whatever happened, I might have to see, because I'm nosy, what happened back there. But whatever it is that transpired, it was divine intervention, because it put my cross watchers in a place to where you had to be alone. Like you had to be by yourself. And it's almost like detox. Like if you wouldn't have been by yourself and not been able to communicate, it's like, it's almost like those things where when you meditate, they tell you to quiet your mind. There's a reason for that, because we can't hear spirit, which speaks inside of us like a still small voice. When our mind is constantly running and we're worried and all this other kind of stuff, or we're constantly busy and things of the sort, it's like we can't hear spirit. So it's almost like there was a lot of energy that was put into, whether it's your life or in this connection or arguing, fighting, whatever the case may be, and you weren't able to hear spirit. So for whatever reason, and I don't even know why I need to say this, but I'm gonna say it because I heard it with some of y'all. Your person could be in jail. Okay, your person could be in jail, and with this person being in jail, not saying that they're like in prison or nothing. I mean, they could have had a traffic ticket or something, I don't know, and been locked up over the weekend. I have no idea. But it's something about some separation or an inability to communicate. Their phone could have got turned off. But it's just not being around this person or not talking to them gave you a sense of clarity, or you were able to see something that you hadn't seen before, or notice something that you hadn't noticed before. But with this Eight of Swords in the reverse, I'm seeing the same thing for this person, where it's almost like it's a freedom. It's the end of a contract between the two of you, a soul contract. But much like I saw with Taurus Bae, which is so interesting when I'm doing these back to back like this, the same similar thing I saw with Taurus Bae, of you being pushed to tap into your emotional space, because I feel it's a lot of reactionary energy that I'm feeling here from my cross watcher. It's reacting, not responding. You know, it's kind of being triggered by your emotions and reacting as opposed to responding to a situation. So it's like you're triggered and you react, you know what I mean? And then with your Gemini person, with them, it's more or less that they're not even paying attention to their emotions, and they deal with everything very logically. So they try to be very practical with stuff. This is so fascinating how these daddies are coming out, man. I'm here for it. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Six of Wands in the reverse. Oh my God. And we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy. This is fascinating. Wow. Whew, my goodness. Okay. This is yet another one of those connections where this is well, I have to use the term karmic lightly, because when I say karmic, I don't necessarily, or the fact that I said divine feminine, I don't necessarily mean this is your twin flame or nothing. But when I say like karmic relationships, I believe all relationships on some level or another are karmic-y, in the sense that in a lot of facets of our life, spirit uses other people to help us learn lessons. And that's all interrelated into soul contracts and things of the sort. But with this world card being in the center of the spread, that's pretty much, and even looking at this card that fell out, the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, this still goes back to this whole premise of needing to reevaluate this situation. And yet again, this is another one of those readings where the energies are focusing less on your person of interest. So this Gemini person, it's focusing less on them and what it is that they're doing. Because if I were to just read their card straight across, both of you are in a place where you're reevaluating, yes. However, there's no additional information into that. You know what I'm saying? I could clarify the piss out of it, but it's just me going with the vibe that I'm feeling. Where this person is at present, it's almost an unction or an urge for them to look at what the problem is. The inspiration is already here. The clarity is already here, right? Leading into the middle of October. And then going forward with them, there's an opportunity for them to have clarity to move forward. But it's almost with them, it's a need to get out of their head and back into their heart. With my crosswatcher, it's a need to listen to your intuition and to listen to the truth that you already know, right? So this whole thing that got my crosswatcher to this place of isolation, or you guys not communicating, whatever the case, is for the sole purpose of both of you reevaluating. And I mean, for your person of interest, if they drop into their emotions, there's a possibility for that, but it's just for them, it's a lot of just them being in their head a lot. You know what I'm saying? But when I get to the energy between the two of you, the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, that's energy of jealousy, right? Of in the upright, it's my independent woman, independent man card. In the reverse, it's more of a codependency. It's being very reliant on other people and feeling helpless. And, I don't know what I would do without, this person, or I don't really feel like I can be responsible for myself, or I don't feel that I can take care of myself type of vibe. So it's a person who feels kind of downtrodden, where I say that jealousy comes out, or envy, worst case scenario, would more or less be a person who's underachieving, right? Is settling for less than they deserve. It's being in a state of learned helplessness, a desire to be rescued, not taking, personal responsibility for themselves, like taking the bull by the horns, if you will, to manifest their destiny, and looking for other people to do it, and that inspiring like jealousy and envy, because they focus and fixate a lot on what other people have instead of getting up and going out and doing it for themselves, So putting that into the context of what I'm seeing between the two of you, there's the potential here where it was made very clear to you all the latter part of September to the early part of October, that this partnership or this connection between the two of you was very codependent. It's being very much reliant on this person for, whether it's emotional security, whether it's financial security, you know what I'm saying? Or being together so a person doesn't have to be alone. It's like that was made very clear, right? And looking at the Six of Wands in the reverse, it's like this thing y'all had going on, or have going on, or whatever the case, it's more or less, I feel it was taking more away from my cross watcher than it was adding. which goes back to the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So everything that's in this bottom row is more or less speaking to, in this time of reflection and reevaluation, this is a suggestion of some things that have been existing beneath this connection that you may or may not be aware of. And don't take my word for it. You know what I mean? Because we all are responsible for doing our own reflection. So like I say, depending on where you are, how you feel, or what you've come to at this point, don't take my word for it. I feel like I'm in reading Rainbow right now, but don't take my word for it. It's like, this would be a conclusion you would want to come to on your own, you know? And if you don't feel that that's the case, then I would say that you probably just don't resonate with this. But what I'm seeing is more or less a person stagnated. So if I look at this Eight of Wands, and as opposed to looking at it just solely as communication and looking at it in the sense of like in your personhood, it's being with this person has stagnated you a great deal because the relationship was not reciprocal. You were literally putting far more into this person than they were putting into you. So all they did was really take. And it's this thought of you're investing into the partnership, you're investing into the person, and it's a hope of getting a return on your investment, but that's yet to happen. But there's something here when, because I can say like, oh, you know, Saturn went direct, and then you're like, you know, that's the end of a karmic cycle or a soul contract. I could say that, right? But I feel from your perspective, that would just be a marker point. If you backtrack from there of how long it is that you've been investing into this and yet to see a return, you know, it's like that would probably make more sense of like that facet of it, like, you know, because it's like totally like astrological jargon in reality. You know what I'm saying? So if you backtrack up to that point, you would see how long it's been that specifically a person may have promised to do something and they've yet to do it. So it's a consistent behavioral pattern with them of lack. Now, with the Death card being here, that's the nail in the coffin. With this showing up, of course, with Death, we're talking about something transitioning, something transforming, right? But it can't go back to the former state. So the state in which this connection was going forward, right? It can't ever go back to how it is the two of you related. So hypothetically, if you and this person got back together, right? It's like the relationship could not be how it was before. Like it can't, because it's something that has transpired. And I said something similar to this in the Taurus Bae reading and I was talking about the Scorpio reading, as a matter of fact, because with the Scorpio reading, it's like the Tower came up, but it's almost like irrevocable damage. And I mean, for some of you, this could be relevant for anything that happened on the 13th of this month. Because it's like this vibe I'm getting is like, it's almost like I'm seeing from a certain point, like even if we say literally September, the beginning of the end started in September. And it's almost as if there was like signs of how this would ultimately end up. You know what I'm saying? But I feel it's like there's a sense of protection that has happened here from my Crosswatcher person, like divine intervention, like I was saying, that's protected you from this being a lot worse. I really hope this isn't like that whole jail thing, dude. And y'all being protected from that. But it's just like I've been saying for a lot of signs, it's like this is yet another one of those situations where it's well past its expiration date. And these are all things like I hope and pray that you guys are taking note of this, because there's certain patterns and synchronicities in life and even in relationships. And I said this in another sign too, when you start to realize certain things in your life becoming barren and stagnant, when your money starts drying up while you're dating someone, and prior to dating them, you never had money troubles. And it doesn't have to be something so blatant as you just giving the person all of your money. It's just suddenly money is starting to like burn in your pockets and slip through your fingers, and you can't understand why. The path that you were on prior to meeting this person was so clear and you were so motivated, and suddenly you're very, very confused and you don't know how to move forward. Where you used to feel really good and confident about yourself, or you didn't pick yourself apart about how you dressed or how you wore your hair or, you know, your body, like things that never crossed your mind. Suddenly it's like you're beating yourself up and feeling not good enough. You know what I mean? And you're feeling less than. It's like all of these things are signs, or just like a general feeling of just stuckness, you know, or things that you used to do that were really important to you that you're not doing anymore. It's like all of those things are a sign when something isn't good for you. Because if we bring it back to the law of reciprocity, sowing and reaping, whatever you want to call it, right? The laws of, you know, karma, you know, if we bring it back to that, it's the same vibration of reciprocity. So when a relationship is healthy, meaning that a relationship, because it's not an entity in and of itself, it's a byproduct of two people. So if you have two healthy individuals who create a healthy relationship, it's supposed to make both of you grow. It's supposed to be mutually beneficial. You know, it's like you don't leave behind hobbies and friends and family members. You know, you're not in like stuck in mental prisons and not knowing what to do with your life and your finances are all drying up. It's like a mutually beneficial relationship benefits both people in it. If only one person is benefiting, that's unequal, you know? So it's still the same siphoning energy that I've been seeing with a lot of couples this month, where it's draining resources, it's draining your spirit, it's just draining, you know? But still in all, aside from the fact that this isn't fruitful, aside from the fact with me seeing the world and the death card here, that this is something that's supposed to be over, you as a proverbial prisoner are being set free. But before you go forward, and why you may not know how to move forward, Crosswatcher, is because this Seven of Pentacles in the reverse here is saying that you need to dive deep and reevaluate. Like all of those things that I said, those are things that you would get in your self-reflection time of dating back to the day that you started seeing this person, right? And then backtracking 3 months before that, you know what I'm saying? And what you were doing. And then looking at 3 months after that, how much that changed. If you compare 3 months before meeting them, 3 months after meeting them, how much in your life changed? If you project 6 months, you know what I'm saying? And then you do another 3 months on this side. So we do 6 months to 6 months and compare how much things in your life changed, you know? And then get deeper to the why. Why is that? Why did I stop doing that? You know what I mean? Because there's something here in this evaluation. And I don't even remember, I've said that for so many people. It's not, I said that in the Taurus Bae reading. It's not just about looking at what didn't work like with this particular person. It's like looking for patterns. What have they consistently done? Have they been consistently inconsistent? And how did you handle that? Have you ever been in a relationship like this before? Has this happened before? What are the similarities? Right? Those of you who have the woke book, y'all know like the whole like timeline we did in the book, we talk about that, you know, over a 10-year span, you know? But it's like with this is something where it's a huge karmic cycle in your life that has wrapped up. The premise and purpose of it is for you to reattune with your truth, like yourself, like getting back to who you are. Because from what I see, who you morphed into while being in this connection is not you. It's almost like a polarity of you. It's the polar opposite of who you used to be. And there's valuable lessons in this that you can learn and you can garner from this, as well as relationships you may have been in prior to this that are very similar, that can transform you as a person, where this can be a complete rebirth, a fresh new start for you, where you get to move forward with this wisdom and with your connection with spirit. But the work has to be done. And like I said, I know from this Taurus Bae reading, the reason why these readings are coming out like this is because with my free will, I always choose to do the love readings for the mid-month, right? That covers into the next month. And all of the soul sessions and everything are already out. But on the 31st of October is this portal, and it is so important, man, because it's you taking a stand. It's a crossroads. And it's like, I understand why Spirit has these cross-watcher only readings coming out, like I'm doing a soul session for the cross-watcher, because it's using romantic relationships or the relationships you guys were in or are in, like to show you something that Spirit may have been trying to tell some people and they haven't got or may have forgotten, so that you're prepared of how it is that you're going to chart your path forward, you know? But if this is a situation to where, you know, you and this person broke up and it's been long standing, or if you guys recently broke up and you're wondering if the person is gonna come back, it's like, what it's looking like for me is that this is literally like a soul tie, karmic tie that's been broken, because it's supposed to, because the two of you came together to learn a very specific lesson. But I don't see very much about the other person or what it is that they were intended to learn or how they feel. It's just that they're very much in their head. But whatever clarity you got, they're aware of that too, you know? And in the extended, we look at how they're thinking and feeling. So it's like, I'll get more into that over there. But all of this that I'm seeing here is how this has robbed you of self-esteem and financial abundance and clarity and drive and passion. You know what I mean? But you're free. But before you move forward, you want to get clear on how you ended up here in the first place. You know? This is wild, man. This is real, real heavy. And this world card just been everywhere this month. But that's been your reading. Gemini Crosswatcher. It's just, these are so heavy, dude. It's wild to me. They're so beautiful in the bigger picture of things. But it's just the energy on my chest that feels like, ugh, you know? But it's beautiful in the bigger picture, because I see so many people, the entire collective, like getting to where it is that they need to be and where they ideally would desire to be, you know? I love your faces. That's been your reading, man. I'm gonna go over to Vimeo, my website, Patreon, and YouTube members to do you guys extended. Like I said, we're gonna look at how the person thinks and feels about you at present. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, I still love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, hopefully sooner, in the extended. And if you want to become a member, there's a join button like somewhere under there for YouTube, and the Patreon link is one of those sides, you know. And my website is in the description box, and then Vimeo is in the description box and stuff too. But you know, I love your face.